Good afternoon. I am back. I'm back to try. Yes, I'm going to try some Unity. Um, so the reason I said I was going to be back and do another, be back for the second part of my stream around 1, but I said I was going to do Unity when I came back to some extent, some amount, something. I've only got about 2 hours left in my day, a little less than that. But I was still working on some issues with the play editor. And so I need my plays to be dynamically identifiable as the directions they're moving and the distance they're going, if they're able to be identified. Like if you're doing a pass play, what do the routes run? And there's been some little tricks and stuff going on in making that work. I think I finally got it fixed. I think I finally have my plays identifying correctly. Like this one identified itself as a run right, which in fact it is. I also needed to provide for the opportunity to have exchanges that can go both left and right, or have multiple exchanges in a play. So I had to make conditions that said, well, make sure that we don't have a handoff after a receive of a handoff. So yeah, there's been a few little bumps along the way. And I've been trying to make sure that now I've been kind of going in, making sure that my particular settings are all correctly identifying themselves as to where they're going. So yeah, I've got a few things going on. It's probably not perfect yet, but I think it's much better than it was. So we're gonna find out in time as I start tweaking that. But I think we're good to start working in the Unity engine. So, so we're going to open up Unity now. I think it's mostly, I'm going to go ahead and check in my code here though, just because I've made some changes. Play editor automated type identification. Automated type identification updates. And we'll just push that puppy up. So now I can at least be still caught up. The action will, okay. Keep everything clean for the moment. So now I'm back into Unity. Okay, so what I was doing in Unity, whoa, what is going on here? That is, oh, is that like a, I don't know what that is. Let's move this up though. Zoom in a little bit. Something went out of whack. My objects are not aligned anymore. So how does one handle scenes? Do you usually what is geez. What is, oh my gosh. What is the normal way to handle multiple pages in an Android app? Are they scenes? If so, do I add all the scenes to one app underneath each other? Or do I create scenes as panels? Or do I create pages as panels? And have one parent panel with all my child panels. Oops. I'm not sure how to structure this. Yeah, there's a, like for example, right now, you see I got my football field on the screen. Well, if that's actually its own page or its own panel or scene or whatever, then maybe I need to break this up somehow, like have a panel for my various things that are going on, figure out my transitions between panels. I'm not sure. I don't know what the normal way to do that is. Oh, yeah, I probably should have restarted the window there. Oh well. These are full screens in your app. Each activity is an independent component. Fragments. These are portions of a UI that can be combined with an activity. Multiple fragments can be modern navigation. The recommended approach is using the navigation components from Android Jetpack, which uses... Oh, well, let me rephrase this. Yes. This is related in that in Unity, I am trying to build the UI for all the back-end services we have been working on. The playbook panel I have created handles playbook file data, but I have also created a field for the simulation, but I am not sure how to structure the parent application when I set up navigation between various pages, such as the playbook panel, simulation, and simulation, and any future pages. Trying to build a UI for all the backend services we have been working on. The playbook panel I have created handles the playbook data, but I have also created a field for simulation. I'm not sure how to structure the parent application or set up the navigation between various pages, such as the playbook simulation. You're working on a Unity UI front end for your football simulator backend services. This is indeed a way to do your project. For a Unity application with multiple complex panel screens, like your football simulator, here's a recommended structure. Main scene with UI manager. Navigation panel, always visible. So is that how they do that? Is there a main? Okay, I gotta go look at some more apps. I gotta go back. I guess I never really thought of it, to be honest. I never really considered whether or not there was an overarching panel for these games. Well, for the Unity ones. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Unity's got going here, but like if I go, I'm pretty, okay, so Super Tiny Football is, this is a Unity app. I know that because I know the guy he's been coming around chatting with me. All right, so let's see, if I say continue, let me open this up for you. Let's see if this will load so you can see what I'm looking at. Maybe it'll load. We'll see. I don't feel like it is always loaded. Because like if I look at this, oh, come on, load it up. Get on with it. It's kind of slow. It's really not fast. Okay, there we go. Let's go try and open phone link again. As you know, I don't want to be showing, you know, what doesn't actually I need to take a screenshot of my nonsense here. And then we will replace this . And this is actually going to be attaching playbook and organizing application app structure. One. And I don't know if this is going to work on my updates. I'm just doing it because I got to get in the habit. I got to get in the habit of actually creating my my thumbnails first. But all right, so is this going to load now? Okay, so this is the game, one of the games. This is Super Tiny Football. And I was just looking to see if you can see a common page out of this stuff. And I'm not seeing a common page. You can see this background, so maybe. Let's go see if that background... No, see, they're changing the background. But I do have the same outside border. Like, I can click on Play Game is still there. You've got that is still there. So yeah, it does look like it's possible. They have the base navigation. However, the home page, when you first start the app, the boot up page, is different. At least on this one. And that might be the case for most of them. So we got team customization, settings. See, settings is a whole different page. That's not even similar. And then we got quit to menu. And menu is the home page. And then here, this is game settings, music FF, think. So there's a few pages that aren't like root, but they do have a root page, like this one, which seems to be the root page for navigating the game, where you're just going to different things, and their transitions are pretty straightforward in this one. But then even this kind of changes up the menu a little bit. So you got your home page, which is a set of basically panels, I would imagine. But then we go to settings, which is game settings, and then we got practice. Welcome to the practice field. First, let's run you through the basics. I don't want to do that. Okay, so let's just, I don't want to do that. Nope. Nope. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Go away. Let's exit. 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 All right. Nope. Nope. There's no way. Okay, so future notification. Don't force people to play your game. Let them out. There should be a way out. I don't, especially if they navigated there by accident. I shouldn't have to do something that you got here by accident. It's one thing to do it like the first time, but hey man, check that out. Don't force people to play your game. It's not that it's bad to have a practice screen. Don't get me wrong, but not letting them out. That's kind of, you gotta have a quit, get out of dodge option. All right, so I think Big Win Football, is that one using Unity too? I can't tell if this, I don't think this one tells you. It loads so fast. It might use Unity, I just don't know for sure. Let's see if there's something in the about or something like that that tells you. Continue. Settings. Team passwords. Team password. Baseball. Legal. Privacy. I'm going to take you to a web page. Help? Nope, taking you to a web page too. Taking you to a web page really slowly. I don't know. Help is very slow for anybody who's using this game. Cloud save. No about. This one doesn't have an about apparently. So I don't know if this is Unity or not. And I think it feels Unity-ish. I don't know why. It has a Unity-esque feel. But I might be wrong. I don't know. Could be Unreal or something. Friends quest. I don't really have. Your team has energy. Okay. Offers, packs, currency. You need money to do anything in this game, and the money costs money. So this deck. This one is cool, but it's also got a lot of paywalls to do anything, and it's paywalls that prevent you from actually, improving at any kind of real pace. Big bowl, past events. These are bowl. They do these bowl things, which is, at least you know this is a football. Somebody from the U.S. made this game because they actually use bowl. They don't use pitches or friendlies or anything like that. You're actually, somebody in the U.S. kind of, knew what they were doing. Big win bash. All right, well, okay, so this one doesn't tell you, but it does have kind of a same screen navigation feel to it, even though it's like the top and bottom seem to stick, but like the home page and certain other pages do kind of change up. So like if I go here, even that one seems to kind of hold steady on the, see, everything has that same top menu, which is interesting. So even leagues, they all do the same thing. They have a nice back button. It's nice and clean. It's in the same spot. It's always there. I'm using a football. It's got issues. For one, I don't have it everywhere, which is a problem. And you can see this isn't very well written for this kind of phone because you've got items that are off the screen. It's really annoying. My buttons are half off the screen. I can barely find that. I can barely touch the eye, so it's not written for this type of phone. I have injuries on my defense. I can't do anything about it. That's not good. You should always be able to do something, but I cannot because this game doesn't give you a way to do anything about it, short of buying cards and trying to find guys to replace them. But yeah, okay, so this one does give you a uniform screen, although it does change the background. I do kind of like the background changing. I should probably come up with some decent backgrounds. I do kind of like the idea that the out of focusness of the background, because it makes the stuff that's in front really pop, which I do like too. And you can get quite a few cards on the screen, right? Because I got 10, I got 5, 6, 11. I got 11 plays right there, and then I got 10, 12 here. And this one, I mean, even with this nice thing on the side showing you what the cards do, there's 12 showing, and you can just kind of go through all your cards, which shows that there's a lot of options for the cards you put on the page, which is kind of what I'm going for with mine. You can see that I have my plays on the side, which are the scrollable plays. I'm trying to put cards in, but it looks like I might be able to do quite a few more if I'm willing to cheat it a bit. I could probably do easily. I think I have it currently set at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would push this over here. It is kind of nice having this quick reference here. But I also kind of like the idea of having the 5 cards, and if you want to see the details, you just click it and it'll flip over and show you the card details, or expand it, whatever. But that's probably Unity too. So I'm trying to just get a feel for the different types of layouts that these games are. I'm pretty sure, all right, so let's look at Marvel Snap quick. Marvel Snap is one I definitely know is using Unity. This is not a football game, but also theirs is designed for portrait mode, or at least they're designed for this game on my phone as portrait mode. Let's put this where it's not split up on the screen. Hello. All right. Hey, look, I can get my new magic. This is actually kind of a cool card, by the way. Check that out. I don't know why it's only half screen on there, but it's full screen on here. That's weird. That might be my favorite magic, although I do have some pretty good magic. Snowflakes. All right, so this one too, look, it has common parts, I think. No, actually, does it? No, because this is the home page, and it's showing you all this stuff, which is like you can navigate through these various sliding screens. Why is that showing up so weird? Probably because it doesn't know I rotated. Weird. It's got some parts. Yeah, see, even that, it's not really fixed. Yeah, it's not fixed at all. It is. The top part here kind of, in some places, looks fixed. But it's not everywhere. So if I go like back to home, yeah, see, it's a total different format. But if I go here and then to here, yeah, there's no consistency in there. Just kind of. I mean, it puts the 50 and 950 on it, but you can see they're spread apart, and it's not even the same values. So yeah, if they're using a consistent setup, I'm not seeing it. Because like even this page is totally different. You do have a similar a top bar, like the mode, I think, even kind of, yeah, the card and mode. Sort of, kind of, in a way, it's consistent. It's all kind of iffy. Not a lot of consistency here. I'm not seeing it necessarily. I just, I'm trying to see how Marvel Snap does it, but as you see, it's kind of confused by my screen type here. It doesn't want to expand to my full screen size for whatever reason. I don't know why. Huh. So if I go like this, it uses the full screen size. But if I rotate it back to horizontal, it's losing it. So something about the way this is working is kind of confused. It might be because I have this open. I don't know. But let's close that. And then guess I can switch to that. Yeah, see, it still doesn't want to figure out that I'm using the whole screen. It's not, it never used to be like that, but I don't know. You know, Microsoft, they got to break things constantly. It doesn't know what the heck is anymore. I don't know if it's oh, there it goes. Now it's fixed. Huh. I don't know. But anyway, so I guess that's all I needed to see. I was kind of going with, I'm trying to come up with the logic for layout. Okay, so my structure idea is, so they got the main scene for Unity applications with multiple complex panel screens like your full screen. Here's a recommended structure. Main scene with UI. Main scene, canvas, root canvas, navigation panel, always visible. So the navigation panel would be like, you know, your menus on the top, your generally move around kind of options. You might have your coins, your money, your back and forths, that kind of stuff, your navigation panel. But there may be times when you don't want to show that, like maybe during the simulation, you might not have all that stuff going on. You might want to have the simulation be a little bit more generic. So you could have a main scene that doesn't do anything, and then you just have a panel that maybe shows sometimes but doesn't other times. Navigation panel, always visible. Content panel, container for swapping panels. Playbook panel, simulation panel, initially inactive. So what do I have on here? I have some not compiling stuff. I had to fix it. Every time I do stuff on here, I end up with a broken compile. Because I'm always doing something new, adding something from the back end, and then it doesn't compile. Oh, that's right, because I was doing some restructuring of it last time I did this. Oh gosh, I've only got an hour if I want to get anywhere on this though. And I want to try to get everything working in one scene, so I want to have a default, I want to work in one screen size. That's what I'm trying to work on. So right now, I just want to get it working on a foldable phone like this one. That's what I want. That's all I want. I wanted to just work on my foldable phone. Now, I didn't even know. How did I open that? I wasn't even trying to open that. Is that about right? That looks about right, I suppose. So here, I want to show you, I have some visions for how my simulator is going to lay out. I guess I don't have to worry about that right now. Let's not do that. I'm trying to focus on here. I got to get this kind of working. For Unity application, multiple complex panel screens, like here's a recommended structure, main scene with UI, canvas, navigation panel, UI manager script. Okay, so the UI navigation buttons. Create buttons in your navigation panel that call the appropriate UI manager methods. On your navigation button, so what if, I don't think it would always be visible. I think you're just going to have to do some stuff that's weird, but I'm like, So I have multiple. I don't even know how to show the system how I've got. Okay, so I need to reorganize my hierarchy. Currently, since I started working on my simulation window, I have my scene that contains several cameras for field use. Some directional lighting. Plane for the field and a couple of objects. A model and a football. I am thinking those should be containerized into a single object of some sort that would be the simulation screen. I also have a playbook panel created for handling the playbook, which would be one of the screens to navigate to. I don't, as of yet, have a root page or startup / menu page. Okay, so yeah, I need to restructure. I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to have to take all of the scene that I have here and turn it into its own page of some kind, maybe even be its own panel. And then I have to create a parent page, some kind of navigation page. Based on your current setup and the need for proper organization, here's how you can restructure your Unity project hierarchy for better navigation between your simulation view and your playbook panel. Root, game object. Main canvas. Screen space, overlay, navigation panel, playbook panel, simulation panel. Content container, empty game object, playbook panel, initially inactive, simulation. All right, implementation steps. Create root structure. Create these in the editor or programmatically. Programmatically. Create a simple menu panel. Key benefits and structure. Example navigation button setup. Sounds good. However, I have near zero Unity experience. So I don't know where to put the code suggested for creating the game objects. Also, when and where would those load? How about a step-by-step to creating those in the UI? I'm gonna have to have it hold my hand through this because I know they have the game object up here, but there's like, 1,000 different game objects. Am I creating UIs, objects, effects, lights, empty child, just create an empty game object and start dragging stuff into it? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with this stuff. I'm like, okay, so I know I have a game object, but what do I do with it? Create base structure in Unity. Create a new empty scene. File, new scene. Okay, let's do that. File, new scene. And empty, new scene. Create a new empty scene. Okay, so empty. Is there an object name somewhere I can name this thing? No. Description. Just an empty scene. No game objects. Save the scene. Save as main scene. File. Save as. Going over here to my Active Minds Games. Nope, that's not what I want. Going to C. Get repos. Football Simulator. FPFM Android. Do I want to go FPFM Android? Yeah, we're going to go FPFM Android. FPFM. Do I already have scenes in here? Does it go under assets? Save as. I'm already going to have a question. I'm going to have a question on number 2. Where do I save this as? 2. Save scene. Does this, do I save in an asset folder or just in the parent folder? It's kind of funny because it'll like tell you, when you ask a simple question, it never gives you a simple answer. It doesn't say, just put it in the parent folder or just put it in the asset folder. Watch, it's going to go through and give me a whole list of stuff. See, it's like almost a page worth of stuff. You should save your scene in asset scenes folder. Oh, okay. So we're going to go assets, scenes. We're going to call this main FPFM main. We'll just do that. It's going to be the master main save. Okay, so we've got FPFM main. Yes. Go like that. All right, so now let's go back up to number 2. number 1. Number 2, number 1. Create the root game object. Right click on the hierarchy, create empty. So we're going to go here, create empty. Woohoo! And rename it to Football Simulator. Do I want to rename it to Football Simulator? I mean, right click on the Football Simulator UI. Rename it to Football Simulator because it's using that because that's what I called my original object, because that was what I called it before I gave it any kind of a name. FPFM may not even be the final, so let's go with Football Simulator. Football Sim. It's the untitled title. Okay. Create the UI canvas. Right click on the Football Simulator. This automatically creates UI canvas. UI canvas. Okay. We'll call it canvas. Rename to main canvas. Main canvas. I'm tempted to use programming nomenclature that puts the type first. I'll do it the way it says. I don't know, maybe that's just not standard anymore. Event system. Leave as is. Okay, well, at least they knew it was there. Set up canvas properties. Select the main canvas in the hierarchy. I have done this. And in the inspector, under canvas component, canvas component, that's this thing. Render mode, screen space overlay. Okay. UI scale mode, scale with screen size. Scale with screen size. Oh. Under canvas component. Canvas component doesn't have canvas scaler. Scale with screen size. Reference resolution. All right, so what was it again? Darn garnet. I want to have everything fit inside of my my thing here. In my phone. Does this still have? Nope. What is the resolution of the Samsung Galaxy Fold 5 when open? $1812 $2176. $1812 $2176. Okay. Create navigation panel. Add a navigation panel. Right click on the main canvas, UI panel. UI panel. Rename to menu button. Menu button? Menu button. Right click on the navigation panel, UI button. Rename to menu button. Okay, we'll call it menu button. I don't know what that's going to be, but we'll go with it. In the text component of the button's child, change text to menu. In the what? In the text component of the button's child. Text component of the button's child. Rename to menu button. There's no text component of the button. Is there a text component? Do I need to add a text component? Okay, next question. Item 2. Wait, where am I? How did I end up over there? Maybe did I get off task? My canvas, I saw the creates canvas. Main canvas. And just select the main canvas, highlight inspector, render, screen face overlay, create navigation panel. Add navigation. Right click on the main canvas UI panel. Rename. Oh. Whoops. Let's delete this. I think I dumped up. I think I messed up here. Let's delete this. I got ahead of myself. Delete. Alright, so. Main canvas UI panel. Rename to navigation panel. So main canvas UI panel. And this is supposed to be navigation panel. Navigation panel. In the inspector, set width 1920. Okay, next question. Okay, so my starting resolution is going to match the first device I want to fit. And in the future, and try other devices. That said, can you please update the instructions for item for step 2 onward to consider all dimensions based on that starting point. That resolution is 1812 by 2176. 176. Also, make sure all your instructions are in line with Unity 6. It's actually Unity 6.1 or some crazy thing, but I don't think that's going to matter that much. Just as long as they're not basing it on Unity 1, 2, 3, some other less than version of Unity. I think, see, here's the problem. When I move to a device that is long and skinny, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I'm thinking long and skinny is going to result in a different UI. Right now, it's long and fat, but not long and skinny. Fat gives me a lot of room. Skinny don't give me much room. Which means I would go with portrait. If I built it totally on portrait, that means my simulations would be really tiny. And what I'd like to do, what I'd like to do is I'm thinking a fold is just going to be a different layout. Because I could see doing my whole field on a portrait of this. But if I did it on a skinny phone, like say for like this, if I put my simulation, the football game would be like, it would only take up, it'd be like this tall. It'd be really tiny. You'd just be seeing stuff happen small. A slightly wider phone, yeah, might be a little better, but not great. And you still end up with a lot of dead space underneath it. Now, if I switch to this and then I have my field and it takes up, the whole bottom half, and then I have my what do you call it? Scoreboard stuff that I want to put at the top, and then the bottom would have various information. But if I do it on this side, I have the scoreboard on top, I have the field in the middle, and then I have various information on the bottom. It could work, but it's just going to mean this stuff is really tiny. And then when you're navigating, again, it's easier to set up this as a decent navigation because it's big and wide and has a lot. But again, you're dealing with a tall and skinny scenario of setting up your plays. So, which is different from most of these games. They all kind of rotate your device. So, and this device is so skinny. It's like the worst, right? It's the skinniest of skinny. You're not going to see very many games that try to function off of this. But they all do adjust for this type of skinny. And look, they all run horizontal. This is just what they do. Most games all use this landscape type setup. And they tend to look decent in it because that's how they set themselves up. They're all designed to actually work in a... See, like all of the cards fit nicely in the middle. They're all designed for this skinny view. And I haven't decided how to best... I wonder if I was to use a skinny view like this as my basis, and then my width of my game, fitting in the widescreen, and then allow for vertical scrolling instead of side scrolling. Because if I do vertical scrolling instead of side scrolling, that means when the screen gets bigger, boom, it can show more before you start scrolling. So you're using the bigger scroll area of the screen rather than going side to side, which means you've used up all the length on both because your fold and your horizontal are the same width. I mean, they're going to be both using the width. I mean, the same technically could go here if I wanted to do vertical horizontal scrolling. I build it so that it fits skinny, but all the scrolling is side to side so that when you open it up, it actually just shows more. And then you're still side to side, but you're functional. So I think that's how I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to try to set it up. Either way I use vertical scrolling instead of horizontal scrolling. That will allow for the big screen to show more stuff, and then when I make it smaller, all it does is show less, and you just scroll sooner. But everything that's important has to be locked on the screen, so it's always going to be in its visual zone. So you always have, menus at the top that just stay there, that have their thing. They fix for the length of the screen, and they just work because of that. I think that's the way I've got to design it. Because I don't believe horizontal scrolling is going to work unless I'm doing something like... I'm not even sure. But there could be situations where whatever's showing is just one thing. So when you scroll, it just gets smaller or bigger, and then you can scroll left to right. But I don't know. I mean, how important is it? I mean, why scroll left to right? I mean, a lot of these games do scroll left to right because that seems to be more common, but I tend to want to do vertical because I think that's just going to work better. The only time it would be, if I want to really go vertical, I do like Marvel Snap and make everything work in a horizontal. And then it makes sense because it just got bigger in one direction, so there's more to see. You can see more. Otherwise, if it gets skinny, you just see less. But you don't want to cut stuff off, so it has to be stuff that's scrollable, and you just try to make sure everything fits in the skinny. But if you do it this way, you got to go vertical so that when it gets bigger, it all fits. And you don't have to design for the skinny to hold it. You just need to make sure that the minimum amount you need shows up on the skinny. So I think because so many games turn the phone sideways, almost every single game, all the football games turn the phone sideways. All of them. Every single one of them. Well, so like if I think even Madden turns the game sideways. Yeah, Madden turns it sideways. Or does Madden give you a choice? Nope, doesn't give you a choice. Everybody turns it sideways. Probably because they probably can get more field on. It's a better view. I wonder if you can flip Madden. Can Madden flip? Oh, Madden can flip. There's no reason why it shouldn't be able to flip, I suppose, but... the Madden game on here, by the way, is pretty bad. Madden is just apparently pretty bad. It has very much a Ballers feel to it. The TV show Ballers from HBO. Jeez. They give you a lot of stuff, I guess. How many is it giving me? Tap on... Okay. Jeez. I feel like there's got to be an easier way to claim stuff. I don't know. Sure giving me a lot of junk. Can't even get to the screens I want to look at. Okay. Theirs is pretty generic. It doesn't do... yeah, it doesn't do portrait. Oh my gosh, is there more? I just want to go to this. Alright, are we done here? Alright, so... same thing. It loads up, gives you your base menu. It's portrait. It does seem to line up pretty good on this app. It seems to be smart enough. Draft. I don't even know what that is. Daily login. Don't care. Just show me the next thing. Oh my gosh. Can I go to the play now? Okay, so now we're in the play now. Draft board. Can you actually create a league in this? I don't even know if you can create a league. Goals. Pass. Goals. Achievements. Event. Daily pass. I don't know. Maybe there is some kind of form of a game in here. I have not figured out what it is. Free space. I don't even know. What the heck is that? Is that some kind of weird game? Green. Okay, I don't know. Madden's got all kinds of weird stuff, but it does kind of use a similar thing. You can see on Madden, it has like this skinny area in the middle, and the way they make it work on this phone is they just give you space. So they built it for skinny phone here, and then you have your menu top and bottom, and then everything centers in the middle. I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting way to do it, I guess. Everybody wants to scroll left to right for some reason, though. Nobody scrolls up and down, which seems to be the better. It seems to me that it would be better to design for a scroll up and down scenario, because then you could do more with your screen space. When the phones, especially if you're doing horizontal. I just feel like if you're doing horizontal, you should scroll horizontal. This way, when you open it, it just can show you more stuff because you're just going to scroll more. If you don't have a wide phone, then it doesn't need to do that. I haven't decided how my simulator is going to sit, though. I'm thinking it's going to sit in the middle, but I don't know how that's going to work for side view. I may even have to, if the simulation gets to a certain point of dimension, I may actually have the scoreboard on the left and the game on the right. So when you're running a simulation, you can see both parts, but it uses the space better. So you actually split the phone in half. Versus the way I want to do it with a horizontal phone, I want to build it to be above the field, just because I feel like that's more where a scoreboard should be. But because phones are skinny most of the time, that's probably not the best way. All right, so let's continue onward. All right, so we're going to go with this plan. I'm sticking with this plan. How is that? Create new empty, new scene. Oh, I already did that. Football simulator, blah, blah, blah. 18, 12, 17, 76. Now we're on 2. Main canvas, UI panel. Navigation panel, did that. In the inspector of navigation panel, we're going to go in the inspector, set width 1812. Blah, 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 blah. Where's width? Anchor presets, bottom stretch, hold Alt while clicking. Hold Alt, bottom stretch. Bottom stretch, anchor preset. What is bottom stretch? Which one is bottom stretch? This one? This one? Guess that's bottom stretch. All right. Width 1812. I don't know where width is. Anchors. Where's width on here? Bottom stretch. Left, right, bottom 0. Left, right. Left, right are 0. What's bottom? Okay, I don't know what it's talking about. There is no left, right, bottom. Top 120. There's no top either. What are you looking at, man? Well, if I do it that way, if I go stretch, stretch. Width. There is no there's no width. What are you talking about? All right, gotta ask a question again. 2.1 inspector does not have a width. Left, top, right, bottom, and EOSZ. Plus anchors in max, pivot, rotation, and scale. I don't know. You know, it's like it's got this known information that it's got to. Well, isn't that what you did when I told you to do it last time? Why are you redoing it? Why don't you just start at 2? Because I've already done 1. I don't need to do. Set of canvas properties. can go back to main canvas. Was there anything different that it did here? Select main canvas, an inspector under canvas scale component. Use scale mouse, scale of screen size, 1812 by 2176. Screen match mode, match width or height, and set this at half. All right, well, I'll set this at half. .5. Which doesn't really do anything for me, but we'll go back here. All right. All right, so right click on the main canvas UI panel, navigation, in the inspector, direction shown, anchor set to top stretch. Earlier it said bottom stretch. So we'll go top stretch. All right, so now it's top stretch. I don't think that matters, but we'll do right alt and click it again. Just a way to see the middle part in bigger thing, but whatever. All right. So we got in the inspector, you should see anchors min max. I do. And they should be X min 0, 1 and max 1, 1. Okay. Pause X 0. I don't have a pause X. Oh, I do have. No, I don't. I don't have a pause X. I have a pause Y, negative 80. This places it 80 pixels from the top. Width stretches to fill width with anchors. Height 160 makes it a bit taller. Okay. Okay, so there we go. We got add navigation panel, and we've got us a 160. Add navigation buttons. Right click on the navigation panel, UI button. Gonna go here, UI, and button text mesh pro. It's not another version, so we're going with that. Rename to menu button. Menu button. All right, I probably should do capital because that's good. Position properties in rect transform. Anchors, middle center. It is middle center. Anchors, middle center. Pause X, negative 600. Pause Y, 0. Width, 400. And height, 120. Some of this stuff I'll tweak later, but I just kind of want to get everything kind of set up here a little bit. Position properties and transformers 120. In the text component of the button child, change text to menu. Transform to menu. Should I go capital? Let's go capital. I don't know. Probably doesn't matter. Eventually I'll change that too. But font size 48. Jeez. Duplicate the button twice. Control D or Command D. All right, so it's giving me some navigation stuff. Playbook and simulator. I think those are the first two items in my game, and that's all they have, but I may have to change how things are actually using those buttons and where those buttons are going to live. But, blah, blah, in the text component of the button's child, blah, blah, duplicate the button twice. I think I will go ahead and do this right now. Wait, didn't I change the name of this? Navigation panel. I did change the button. says menu button. It's supposed to be menu button. Menu button. I don't know. That's weird. Okay. Now we're going to go here. Control C, Control V. Oops, nope. Didn't work. Control C, Control... Oops. Control C, Control V, Control V. Okay. We're going to go here, and this will be a simulator. Simulate. Yeah, simulate game. I'm not sure that's even the title I want to be. What would you be doing? Playing a game? Run a game? Play game. Simulate game. All right, simulate game. Whatever. It's probably not a great title. I'll probably change it later just because it'll bug me after a while. And this one will be the playbook. The organization of these is not great, but at least I'll have the objects and I can start attaching stuff to them. And then when I move them around, they shouldn't be a problem. I can just put them wherever or attach them to whatever objects are going to exist. But really, I'm just trying to get a feel for how things are laid out and start understanding how I'm going to create this beast of mine. And for now, can I hide this? Nope. I mean, I probably can. I just haven't figured out how. Just want to hide you for now. Can I make you smaller at least? Nope. Such is the way of life. I guess that's going to stay there. I don't know how to get rid of it. So I'll hide it. Collapse. Ah! There we go. That'll get it at least out of my face. Put that over there. All right. So we got the playbook and the... So we got a bunch of stuff. And I'm not... I want to gamify my menus, personally. I don't like... It's clean, I know. I kind of wanted to gamify my menus. So when you click on stuff on the screen, it's just a thing. But it may actually be... I don't know. I don't know what people prefer. Do you prefer gamified menus? What I mean by gamified means make the environment that you're seeing the menu. So when you see a building, you click on the building. You go blah, blah, blah. You learn where your buildings are. Or maybe even have icons and stuff on them to show what they are. But you can click on those items and it'll take you to those places. That's what I mean by gamifying them. And then maybe when you get into that place, then maybe there'll be a default menu of some kind. But like the starting home, we call it the home page, would be the gamified objects all over the screen. And you click on those and they take you into maybe more gamey looking locations. Kind of like mine. So I go in here and you see this game object or this field of mine. Everything here is kind of gamified, or not gamified, but you got your menus, you got a few little menu objects, you got the things you're doing, the buttons, the basic things that you're going to be doing throughout this, and as well as the game plan. You got your navigation of the game plan, what you can do with the game plan. But the home menu is gamified. You don't necessarily see a bunch of menus, but the building and the field and all these are clickable, well, once they are all alive. But only these two are clickable right now. But when you click on them, those take you where you want to go. So you would just say, hey, I want to go to the football game and do a simulation, or I want to go to the house or the coach's hut or whatever you want to call it. I'd have to come up with all the right names and put some little icons on them to show what where what players do there, or what you would do there, so you can kind of know. Um, but ultimately, the idea is that you would get kind of a gamified menu for the start screen. And then once you go in here, then stuff is a little different. It's already loaded, it's set up. And honestly, the only thing here that's really not, I actually thought about having like this thing up here. Oh, you can't even see my mouse, but the little tower in the left being your account page. But I kind of feel like account page stuff is settings and stuff like that, and I kind of wanted that to be accessible, so I just created an icon in the left that lets you go there knowing, hey, there's a little settings bar. You click on that, it's going to have all your stuff related to your account, anything that you want to tweak quickly. And then everything else is going to be on the gamified menu. That's what I'm thinking. And I think it's plenty doable. That's not really the issue. And I think eventually I might connect that, and some of these buttons will be lined up in a different menu position. Maybe I even move this to a sub menu, but I'm just going to have it create so I have a working space that's organized in some way. So we have simulate, navigation button for menu, and we have Control D, create navigation panel. Duplicate the button twice, playbook, X center. Oh, we're just going position X. What do we want to do here? Add rec transform content container. Duplicate it twice, playbook. Change text to playbook. Well, yeah. And then position X, right of center. Menu button, playbook is position X 600. Oh, are we doing what was the original menu button? That's X negative 600. And middle center. Is this going to be middle center too? And duplicate the button twice. First copy, rename playbook button to playbook. Position X is 0. Right, menu button. That's middle center. That's middle center. But that's negative 6. Oh, this is 0. There we go. And then, actually, that one should probably be 600, actually. Position X is 600. And then this guy is going to be 0. And the text for this guy sim game. Sim game? Sure, sim game. That's terrible. I don't know. It's terrible. I don't know what to do with it. But at least we know what it is. We'll figure it out later. It'll be better later, because like I said, some of this stuff I'm not even going to have a title in the traditional sense. Second copy, rename to simulate button, simulation 600. Okay, so we are good, I think. We have everything lined up. Now we're going to go to create content container and panels. Create content All right, I've got 20 minutes. I got to get this done. So I can't, don't let me get distracted, anybody. Stay on top. Stay on target. Stay on target. Right click on main canvas, create empty. Main canvas, right click, create empty. Content container. All right. Content container. I'll just check that up there. All right, content container. Add rect transform component if not there, but it is. Set rect transform properties, stretch. All right. Anchor 0011, got it. Position X is 0. Position Y is -80. There is no, because we did stretch, there is no position Y. There's no X or Y because we did with stretch. Offset for navigation panel. Height. There's not even a height. When they do stretch, anchors, stretch, all corners, 0011. Okay. All right, well, let's go here and go completed item or steps 1 and 2. However, step 3.1 states set pause X and pause Y width, height, but with stretch, those values do not exist. We have left, top, right, bottom. How many items? Oh, there's 6 steps. Oh no, I may not get done. Oh no, I don't want to not be done because then I'll lose my, knowing me, I'll probably close my window and lose it. Height, let me update step 3, okay. So left is 0, right is 0. Left is 0, right is 0, top is 160. And bottom is 0. Left, right, top 160. Create menu panel. Right click on the content container UI panel. UI panel. Okay. Rename to menu panel. Menu panel. Wait, what was it before? Oh, it's navigation panel. Okay. Okay, so we got navigation panel, now we got menu panel. Which I guess is the sub items that you would do within each of those other objects. Which again makes me feel like, gets clunky then. But we'll work. I don't like overlapping menus. Menus upon menus is just awkward. Awkward, just like my speaking is awkward. Okay, menu panel. Set rect transform, got it. Stretch, Got it. All zeros. Got it. Add some welcome elements. Right click on menu panel UI text. Menu panel UI text. Font 72. Pause X. 0. Pause Y. -200. Width 800. Height 100. 800. Height 200. No, 100. We're going to say, I'm not going to call it Football Simulator. That's not what it is. We're going to call it Fantasy Pro Football Manager. Manger. Manager. Manager. All right. Anchor stop center. All right, 786. 0, 200, 800, 100. Okay. Add another UI. Whoa, did that not even tell me to put it anywhere? Change text to welcome to the football simulator. Use the navigation buttons to access different features. Oh, so we're actually like going all in on the, why am I in the bottom of the screen though? Stretch, all corners. Add some welcome elements. Right click on the menu panel. I am on the menu panel. Pause X 0, -200. Oh, anchors are top center. Oh, that's the thing. Okay, so it's top center. That's why. Anchors top center. Then we have to change these to pause X 0, pause Y -200. There we go. There we go. 800, 100. 800, 100. All right, so add another UI text element. We'll call it title text. Type. Title text. And we're going to go add UI text. This one will be called the first step text. And we're going to go down here. We're going to call this puppy welcome. Welcome. Use navigation buttons to access features. Fine. That is the lamest of all comments ever, but hey, I'm in a hurry. I'll let it slide for this second until I can get through this thing. It's just really not good. So this one is anchor center. Okay, fine, whatever. Middle center, anchor center. X 00 1400 200 00 width 1400 and height 200. Jeez. And font size is only 36. How big did you? Oh, because wow, that is just really tiny compared to what. Told me to do 72 font size on that, and 36 for that little tiny microscopic thing. And that's like what the heck, man. That's like, all right, I'm gonna update that. Let's bring that up to at least a, I don't know, 48 or something. So it's something bigger. It still feels too small. Let's go 56. There we go. Woohoo! It's ugly as snot, but it's getting me set up. That's the important thing. It's getting all the parts in place. All right. Move existing playbook panel. All right, so in the hierarchy, drag your existing playbook panel to be a child of content container. Adjust its rect transform to build content container. All right, so I should go here. And somewhere in here is my playbook. Which one is my playbook panel, though? Is it panels? I have a playbook. I don't know what that is. I have a playbook UI, which is probably the one it's supposed to be. Can I do a search and find all my playbook stuff? Playbook. Ah, here we go. I have 3 playbook folders. What the? Okay, so I have a playbook prefab asset. I have a monoscript, monoscript, and monoscript. So it must be my prefab asset. So for item 3, my playbook is a prefab asset. I don't think it's going to matter too much, honestly, but prefabricated asset. Let's drag it up there. Worst it does is tell me I mean, I don't know what else it would be. Oh, we have to do something different with it. Jeez. Create content container and panels updated for prefab asset. Create content container. Right click on the main canvas. Create empty content container. Add rect transform component if not present. We have that. 0. Create menu panel. Change text to football simulator. Add playbook panel prefab. In the project window, locate your playbook panel prefab asset. Drag the prefab into the content container in the hierarchy. Oh, okay. Well, that's what I was going to do anyway. Oh, check that out. Kind of loaded it up. Kinda. 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 Right click on the content, rename the simulation panel. Oh wait, nope. Trying to locate prefab asset, drag into the content container hierarchy, adjust its rect transform to fill content container. How do I do that? So right click on the locate panel prefab asset, drag it to the container hierarchy, adjust its rect transform to fill content container. Anchors. Do I need to add a rect transform? Rect transform. Replacing a transform on a prefab instance with a different type of transform is not allowed. Okie dokie. Alright. Okay, so we got to go 3 dot 3. My prefab does not have a rect transform. It has a transform with position, rotation, and scale. I got 7 minutes. I'm not going to get through all the items. iMy prefab does not have iMy. Right click on main canvas, main menu, create playbook panel container, right click on content container, create empty, rename the playbook panel. Oh, okay, so we gotta take this off, remove. There's no remove, I guess I just delete it. Alright, so we go to the content container, add rect transform component if not present. Oh, we're in the playbook panel. Rename it. Content container, create empty. Content container, create empty. Rename to playbook panel container. Playbook panel container. Set rect transform of that to stretch. And we'll set everything to 0. Set it to inactive initially. There is no inactive. That's not an option. Okay. Add 3D panel to the container. Is there an inactive now? Nope. Okay. Drag your playbook since it has a transform component, non-rect transform, set its positions to a lot of zeros. Okay, I did that. Zeros are relative to the container. You may need to adjust its scale to fit properly in the UI view. It looks okay. If needed, adjust its Z position to ensure visibility. Negative Z values bring it closer to the camera. Oh, no, I think we're okay. I mean, I can't tell what it's doing at the moment. Create simulation UI panel as described earlier? I do need to do the simulation UI panel. So what is described earlier? I mean, like up here earlier? Create simulation UI panel. Okay, so right click on the content UI panel. All right, so we're going to go here, UI panel, rename to simulation panel. Simulation panel. Set rect transform similar to other panels. Similar to other panels, okay. So I don't know, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, stretch, okay. Add basic controls like pause, button, etc. Set it to inactive. Inactive? Cast, maskable. Again, there's no inactive. I don't know what this inactive thing it's talking about. There is no inactive. Image, call. Nope, there's no inactive options, man. I don't know what crazy talk. Making things up. Okay. We go back down here. Camera. Okay. Additional considerations for 3D prefabs and UI. Make sure you have a camera that's see your 3D playbook panel. If your canvas is in screen space overlay mode, you'll need a. I may have to change my playbook panel. I didn't know it was a 3D object. It doesn't need to be a 3D object. It's just a screen. What the heck? I wasn't trying to create a 3D object for my playbook, but if your playbook panel is imported UI functionality, consider recreating it as a proper UI element with a rect transform or use a render texture. Script modification. In your UI manager, okay, camera toggle. You should allow your integration. Okay. So how do I import my field and my other simulator objects that I created earlier into my simulation panel? I guess I just drag and drop them, right? I mean, that's what you would think. That would make the most sense. Is it going to be under general assets? That's a football field material. Here's my football field. Import your existing simulator objects. Make sure your simulation panel is set up as a child of content container. It is. If needed, create a viewport area inside simulation panel for the 3D content. A viewport? In the project panel, right-click, create render texture. Name it field render texture. Set appropriate resolutions. Configure your field camera. Select your main field camera. So I need to have a viewport area. Viewport area. All right, let's go like this. What is a viewport area? And how do I... Because it's not in there. I right clicked on it. Move. Yeah, there's no U. Yeah, there's no viewport area. What is a viewport area and how do I create it in the content container? It's like the AI is going like, dude, you really don't know anything about Unity, do you? I did say that. I did say I knew nothing about Unity. It's Friday. All I have to do right now, I mean, my wife has guests. The only thing I have to do right now is study my lines a little bit for tonight. But ultimately, it's Friday night, and I typically stop working at 5. But, you know, I hate leaving things in a hanging state. Okay, viewport area. How to create a viewport area in content. Can add a scroll view display within a specific area while allowing scroll when the content is larger than the available space. It's commonly used to show large content in a limited screen area. Well, my field has to be able to be fully displayable. Okay. For the simulator, the field and all objects on the field have to fit the screen area. So no scroll. Camera will move on the field to make sure that the play area stays in view. In a football simulator, you need the field and objects to fit within the screen area within no scrolling. Instead, the camera will move to follow the action and keep the player in view. Let's update our approach for the simulator panel. Setting up your simulation view in Unity. Create a simple viewport in a simulation panel. Add an image component for the viewport. Right-click on the simulation panel UI image. UI image. Rename field viewport. Field viewport. Set its transform to fill most of the simulation panel. No. Nope. I think I'm actually going to say I want this to be line bottom stretch, because I don't want to fill most of the port. I actually want it to be like, I'm going to set the dimensions of it. So the height will be like, I don't know, what is my dimensions? 1812. So it'll be about 900. And that should be good. Thought it was bottom stretch. Maybe it's bottom stretch? Yeah. Anchor, stretch, right click. Left, right 20 for margins. Top 20, bottom 20, leaving space at bottom for controls. Do I want? Nah, I don't need space on bottom. I'm gonna put a little bar on the bottom and I think it'll be fine. So let's go ahead. All right, so now I actually plan for the game area to take up about 60% of the viewport, the available viewport area. And well, maybe I do put it all to have it take up the whole screen, because I was thinking having two parts, like the field and everything, and then the scoreboard, which will do its own thing. But would it be better just to have, I mean, it's, no, because the simulation panel is going to have the parts that are the parts. All right. I plan for the game area to take up about 60% of the viewport area and a scoreboard slash functional screen take up a chunk of the upper screen and the area around it to be filled by crowd background. Is that multiple viewports or just one with several panels? Input, several panels displayed. Key may take about 60% of the field view behind the scoreboard functional screen and take up a chunk of the upper screen in the area around to be filled by crowd background. Is that multiple viewports or just one with several panels displayed? Unity UI layout for football simulator. Based on the description, looking to create a layout where the screen game field scoreboard occupies the top portion crowd. This can be accomplished with a single viewport using your simulator panel that contains multiple UI elements arranged in appropriate positions. Here's how to structure it. Recommended layout. Implementation steps. Set up the background. Right-click simulation panel UI image. Right-click simulation panel UI image. Rename the crowd background. Crowd background. Is that for I don't know. I don't know how to. Hey, Nintendo, you just caught me, man. I'm getting ready to sign off, but I'm trying to build up my structure a little bit better on my app. I've been working on the playbook, and I've been working on the game, the simulation setups, but then I realized I have things all over the place in my app. They were like not in the right places. So I've been working with AI, trying to structure a more cohesive setup. It's not necessarily the final setup, but it's creating the encasement so that everything fits within one app space, so that I can start navigating a little bit like I'm doing with my React app, and I have things kind of set up that way. And now I'm trying to position the basics of what everything is going to function and where it's going to be, so I have somewhere to play with it. I figure I can move things and restructure it later, but I need to have that basic top-down main page menu navigation stuff. No, well, I'm done coding for the night. When I sign off here, the next time I come back, it'll be later tonight, and I will be, I'll just be gaming. And then I'll be gaming tomorrow if I'm online. And then I won't be back to coding again until either late tomorrow or Sunday at the earliest. My late Saturday, Sunday coding sessions are kind of, I don't plan them, but they happen because I keep wanting to keep going. Right click. So yeah, how do people do those animated backgrounds? You know, when they do the crowds and you got crowds bouncing around, jumping in the crowd, and they're doing all this stuff. What is that? Is that like just basically a bunch of 3D rendered objects that just sit there and dance and do things? Is that all it is? And then just putting them all over the screen? I guess that's probably what that is. But are they literally building up? Like if you have a crowd and it's got 70 dudes in it all bouncing around like little heads moving around to look like they're doing stuff. Is that a bunch of 3D objects on the screen? How are they doing that? I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna ask. Let's go ask AI. Let's see what it tells me. I'm just curious. Oh, are we broken again? How come you can't talk when I'm online? You used to be able to talk when I was online, but you can't talk now. So it's like it's conflicting with something. I don't know what it's conflicting with. Is it because it thinks it's using my mic? No, because it's not using my mic. It's using my Surface Pro mic. Do I have Surface Pro mic on one of these things here? I'm checking. Sorry, guys. I'm clicking on stuff. Because it must think I have my Surface Pro mic is being taken up, and it like can't talk to me while I'm doing stuff, for whatever reason. Desktop audio, is it that one? That's not doing anything. Can I just turn that off? I don't know what it thinks I'm conflicting with. Jeez. ink left. Phone link. PFF memory rate followers. Just me. PFF running rate which. Soups 50. Don't know, man. I don't know what it thinks it's I don't know what this is. Properties. I don't know what mic auxiliary is. I don't know. I guess it's kind of a distraction, but some reason it can't talk to me. So let's just ask, oh, how do I type this? Are the in any Unity games I see active backgrounds where background, is that correct? Oh, maybe where a bunch of images are moving, i.e. a crowd in a sports arena. Is that some kind of image, or is it a render of a bunch of 3D heads bouncing? How are those animated screens, backgrounds created? Billboard textures, low poly 3D models. Some games use simplified 3D models with basic animations to represent crowds. These models are often duplicated and randomized in color or movement to create variety. Developers can use shaders to animate textures dynamically, making the crowd appear to move without requiring complex animations. Crowd simulation assets. Unity offers assets like the Stadium Crowd Generator that help automate crowd animations, making it easier to populate arenas with moving spectators. That's cool. Game, you might want to experiment with a mix of these methods to achieve the best effect. because that's what I want. I want a cool crowd effect, you know, where stuff is moving around. But I mean, not, you know, I just need little peoples moving to make it look good. All right, man. I have to sign off. I'm breaking my rule. I got to stop by 5. So I'm getting there. I kind of restructured. It looks better. I'll eventually start putting more stuff on here. I've got it set up in the aspect ratio / resolution of my foldable phone, which will be the first setup. But I'm also keeping in mind how I want skinny phones to work. I think this menu's too big. It's kind of ugly, but we'll set it up. I mean, I'm not worried about prettiness right now. Let's just get it working so I can click buttons and make things work, and then I can start dressing buttons up and stuff later.